If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers. You and I both know that it takes effort more than want to create a business. Today, I want to show you how to create fast revenue in 90 days. You do not need to wait to a new month or a new year or a new fiscal or a new something magical around you to start. And in order to be great, you must start. I believe firmly, and you've heard this if you've been a listener for our show for a while, that business growth is elegantly simple. The 1%, the sting and momentum, the not doing the hokey pokey is the key to it all. And the only way I can break this down very simply for you is a commitment to get off zero. So if you want to be winning in the 90 days from now, stop what you're doing. Save this episode and make sure you're implementing what you're about to hear. Because this is Amplify Your Marketing Message. I am your host, Christine Campbell Rapin, and we're going to fire up our revenue in 90-day sprints starting today. So let's take the first piece of the puzzle. I want you to recognize that the value exchange, where something is worth more than you pay for it, requires you to put on the lens of the buyer, not your own. It's so imperative that you show value in the eye of the customer, in the eye of the buyer, in the eye of the shopper, in the eye of the patient. Use whatever language you like so that you can show them, not tell them, show them evidence that this is a smart money decision. And so I think one of the things that creates less risk for people is to know that there's a system, a process, a pattern, and that by walking within that framework, results become predictable, positive, consistent, because that helps us justify a big, different lived experience than the one we're in right now, which is chaos in a scaling fashion. And so think about how you can curate evidence. You can have people, of course, speak on behalf of your business. Google reviews, LinkedIn reviews, testimonials, written, video. You can have people in spaces that you're belonging saying, she's an awesome person, she delivers, she's as good as they say they are, she was worth the money. I want you every month in your business to find evidence that people who have experienced what you do, whether that is both paid and unpaid, tell the world and show with their lived experience that you're a smart money decision. This is step number one. But remember, this is so important. It is not about you justifying, you explaining, you throwing 3 bobcats, a unicorn, 3 balloons, and a lollipop into the mix. Don't stuff the offer. You're not selling a unicorn. You need to sell an incremental win. That 1%, that get off zero, oh my God, wow, it was worth it. Because that's where you meet your next client and help them overcome the doubt and break a pattern that is not satisfying them. Simple, right? Number 2, I want you to recognize that when clients are on a journey of going from the chaos to the result that they want and to improving their satisfaction with the results that are predictable, consistent, and positive, that they have different emotional intersection points. What they want at the beginning, what they want at the middle, what they want at the end, what they want as the halo has a different story, has a different angle. Same person, but an evolving one. And what they message is different, and having this multiple differences as part of your curated marketing is imperative, because your next buyer or your next buyers are all at different intersection points too. So I said, as a business owner, you get to decide the intersection point. I stand for this result. This is my true north. This is what I can be counted upon to deliver. but you recognize that everybody's starting at a different starting block. And so I want you to curate, like we do in our business, different evidence at different touch points on a client journey. So we in our process have a very systematic way that we approach this. Shocking, I know. We ask people when they first start, what are your goals? What are your expectations? What does success look like when you hire us? We also then check in, usually about a third of the way through any program, how are we delivering against that? What's your first early win? What's your first baby 1% step that you're proud of, that we're now inviting you to celebrate, that's going to start the momentum? And we check in after a little bit more elapsed time. We often have to take course corrections. We may have to refine how we're serving to ensure that the momentum is happening and to ensure that the experience is positive and to check against our standards. But the intentional feedback gives us the opportunity to do that. We also then look at what's happening 3/4 of the way or at the end of a program, not just because we're in a renewal conversation, if we are, but to also really recognize, now what do you see in the rearview mirror? And most importantly, what do you see as possible now because of the journey we've taken together? We also check with our clients months later. How's it going? What do you think looking back? What do you see looking forward? And where are any wobbles that we might be able to support you on? Because let's be clear, just because you completed something doesn't mean it's perfect. You're human and you're going to have the same problem every human has. I suck at consistency. But we want to intentionally, this is the point, to talk to different segments, to talk at different timelines, and to be curating those sound bites to be used as evidence because it helps de-risk and address different concerns and to really, really show, notice how I've said this a couple times, show what becomes possible. Because if we can stir the show, it brings emotions and it drives up the, I want that. What do I have to do to get it? And that is always a conversation I want to be having. The third thing I really want you to do to get fast revenue in the next 90 days is to look at huge value for free. And I just watched all of you go, is there another way? I will tell you, I was certain of this from the day I started my business. You did not get out of bed to hire me today. Shocking, right? Like I know this with certainty. That doesn't mean that I won't make offers today. That doesn't mean that people say yes to me today. That doesn't mean that we don't sign clients today. They do that because I'm very clear about letting people have free ways to experience me before they have a conversation that is tied to a bigger risk, which is most commonly monetary exchange. So it is about thinking about how can you add value, strategic value? How can you show your expertise? How can you get to know your audience? How can you let them see what a wow would look like that other clients have lived? And I need you to think about this because I don't say that you can get paid for this. I'm saying that free has to be a component of this. And so for us, we do a couple things and we're very committed to that. We do our podcast, which is free. Every week, every second week, special training from me. Every other week, a great insight from somebody whose services you should be hiring. Thinking about how to implement that tactical with the strategic that I bring. We also do free webinars. Every month there's something we're offering. Bringing in collaborative partners, bringing in expertise into our audience, adding free value so that there's this light bulb that should go on to the people who will become our next client. What's the light bulb? Very simply. Imagine if she gives this much value for free, how incredible it would be to be a client. How much more care, how much more expertise, how much more focus, how much more, here it is, access would I get as a paid client. I really want that. And it stirs the emotions, it talks to where they are, and it gets them moving. Because the evidence of the free stuff always has a call to action. I invite you to move. I invite you to have a conversation with me. I invite you to consider a program that's going to solve a problem you know you have, and you've told me you have, because you got into the room where I offered the free experience to make progress on it. See how it all comes together? This is how we do it, folks. Number 4, I think that the biggest way you can get there fast is evidence in an experience. I was always really clear right from the very beginning. Nobody randomly gets up to hire consultants. Like I don't know in what universe that happens, but it certainly doesn't happen in the one I inhibit. But I do know this. I'll meet people today that I'll make offers to. I do know this. I will meet somebody today that I will make an offer to that will say yes to that offer, and we will be hired today. A big part of that is, though, because we are very intentional about the human-focused elements. And you've seen this. I just read a stat this week, and it just sort of reaffirmed no XXX Sherlock. We spend all this time, billions of dollars, on hiring consultants in AI to help us figure out AI, to help us implement AI, and guess what all of them have said? All of them. Well, we have to keep the humans. We have to keep humans in this. And we're actually seeing this massive boomerang. It's really irritating me, I'll be honest, about, humans the new capital, relationships are the new capital. Bull crap, my friends. This was always the capital. And that's why experiences have been key. When I first started my business 5 years ago, I thought the wrong conversations were happening. People were being taught shiny objects. People were taught gamification, stupid, simplified things. And then you never had access to actually get support to implement things. And people bought it in droves. And I said, I think the wrong conversations are happening. A good friend of mine, good strategic partner of mine said, well, you're never really here just to make a statement. What are you doing about it? And I said, I'm going to curate the table. I'm going to start the conversation I think should be happening. I'm going to lean into foundations when nobody wants to play there. And that's why I have the business and the success we do today, because we curate the conversations. We guide with free value all the time. I will give you everything I know about how to run a business here in this podcast or in an event of mine. I hold nothing back. I don't gatekeep at all. Because if you could take it and run, I frickin' would love you to. And please tell me you are winning when you do. I also know there's going to be a whole bunch of people that knowledge is not where the gap really truly lies. It's an implementation. And if you can experience the implementation with me, you'll really de-risk the conversation where we're going to talk about an offer. We're going to talk about a monetary investment. And we're going to talk about why it's an exponential ROI and smart money. So we have to curate experiences before people purchase. Because you can't duplicate what you get from us, from someone else. Simply, I am just one person, Christine Campbell Rapin, and I see the world through a unique lens that my two eyeballs give me. I have supported more than 400 companies to create $1 billion. That experience is the lens in which I bring to the table. The investments I'm making in my business cascade down to the benefit of every client we serve. I'm committed to bigger investments, bigger risks, and I'm going to share them in every future experience. And that's why you want to be in the room. And what I love about the world of experience is if you deliver to a high standard, the standard of the value of your buyer, guess what happens? They become advocates. They start to say, wow, you should be in the room. When Christine runs Turn On Your Client Waterfall, which is a 3-part interactive workshop series that tackles marketing, selling, and systems to scale, it's a room you should be in. And for sure, you should be buying the VIP pass. It's worth its weight in gold. Experiences create big ripples. How can you bring in an experience to your business? And the fifth and final thing I want you to really focus on to make fast gains in revenue in 90 days or less is to track the human metrics. It is important that you have business metrics. Please ensure that they have human elements. Because I always say this, and it's usually one of the first things I really have to work with private clients on, is it's not just the monetary ROI. For sure, paid clients is beautiful. And that's what you can expect when you bring your business into our ecosystem. But the first win might not be a client. It might be an offer. It might be taking a risk. It might be doing something that gets you more visible. It might be refining your offer. All of those things are wins. And why we ask you about them is how does the human feel about them? Just yesterday, I was wrapping up one of our group programs and I was talking about where are you proud of yourself? You've been on this journey. All clients have renewed. and said, I want to keep working together. I need to stay in this ecosystem because the evidence is there. They've shown themselves the path. They see the different transformation in the mirror. But I asked them this, what are you proud of? I said, I need you today to go tell somebody out loud, I'm proud of myself, and tell them why. And each person had to get a human name and they had to tell it to me. They had to be accountable for that. That's what matters. Because one of them, I'll be candid, said, the full ROI isn't there yet. I have made money. Yes. I have signed clients. Yes. I have increased my price. Yes. But truthfully, I'm still in the hole a little bit relative to what I paid for the program. And she was a client of mine for a 6-month program. But she says, I'm 100% renewing for you for another 6 months because I can see it coming. I know how to get there in 90 days. I know what the momentum is. And truthfully, I need to up the velocity. I need to up the volume. And I need to up the celebration. So I want you to think about how does the human feel in the human story, and then you can tie that very naturally into more evidence, more momentum, more choices. And here's the best bit of all, more hope. Hope for the future you're creating. Hope for the belief, knowledge, and certainty that new things have become possible as a result of the transformation of going through your process. So I will tell you that to be great, you have to start. You do not have to tackle everything at once, but there were 5 steps. I'm just going to recap them for everybody to help keep it focused for you. You have to remember that the value is in the eye of the buyer, and you need to show evidence in the language the buyer will relate to. Super important there, in the language the buyer will relate to. So don't use language of the enlightened, the ones who have already got the results. You're talking to the person who wants the next result. Number 2, you need to talk about the person, the human, in different moments on the journey of transformation, because their confidence, knowledge, skills, and beliefs are changing. And some of your next buyers will be at every different section. By having this diverse way of talking to them, you'll capture more leads that are highly qualified. And when you meet them, you can say, tell me where you are. I got the intersection. Let's move you from here to here consistently. 3rd, think about value up front. Trust deficit is real. We want to not just talk a good game, we want to walk a good game. And free value shows people that walk. 4th, let them experience you. Let them be wowed at free so they can desire a bigger impact at paid. And keep it human, always. I know for certain that somebody today got out of bed looking for a solution you could provide an answer to. My question to you is, are you the one they found? Are you the one they engaged with because you had all 5 of these factors in place? Did they see you as a must-hire? And did you give them clear instructions to take a next step? If you're listening as a regular subscriber to Amplify Your Marketing Message, you're an awesome human being. You're here because the value's here. You're there because you've seen evidence. You've taken action from what you experienced. My invitation for you now is to step up a level. I want you to come have a conversation with me. I want you to go from beyond listening to active engagement. I want you to have a more buyers, more money breakthrough session. I want to equip you with the program, the accountability, and the support to increase your velocity, your volume of clients being served. Because when we do that, we create massive impact. So my friends, you go to ChristineCampbellRapin.com, and I want you to come book a strategy call. I want to help you win. I want to help you win fast in the next 90 days. And I want to implement this roadmap with you. Because I know they're spending. I want it to be with you. Don't you? It's go time, my friends. We'll see you on our call and in our next episode. That's That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all